Mark Levine, Excel Bradshaw Management Group. Has this situation happened to you where you're staying in an apartment and something bursts, a pipe is going, water's flowing, or maybe the electrical panel breaks and you say, okay, I have to call my managing agent. They say, sorry, we're not responsible for it. You have to call somebody on your own. Just make sure that you hire somebody that's licensed and insured to do the proper work. And you say, I'm living in this apartment. I'm surprised that this is my responsibility. Where can I find out more information? So what I wanted to do today is just walk you through a quick 3 to 5 minute tour of your documents so that you know where to look to see, okay, what's my responsibility? What's the shareholder? What's the unit owner's responsibility? What's the building's responsibility? If you're in a co-op, your proprietary lease is going to spell it out. And I have this 2-page scenario, or synopsis rather, from a proprietary lease that looks like any other proprietary lease. And it's a section that's called repairs by lessee. And in a condo, you're going to have in your bylaws, you're going to have a section that's related to the residential units that aren't of the general common area. So it's like just your apartment. So the general rule of thumb is, and this goes both ways in co-ops and condos, if you could see it without breaking anything open, it's most likely your responsibility. So if we take the example of you have the U-bend under the sink and that goes and you've got a flood downstairs, that's generally going to be the responsibility of the shareholder or of the unit owner of that unit to take care of, hire a plumber or do it themselves. If you have something that's, let's say, in the wall, let's say it's a shower body, or if it's a general water riser that you have to break through and it's serving the main purpose of multiple units, and that's the building's responsibility to take care of. So I thought what I would do is just read some of this paragraph, which is called the repairs by the lessee. In a co-op, the lessee is the shareholder, the lessor is the cooperative corporation that oversees everything. But if you want to be patient for 2 minutes, I'll get through this and then I can describe it as I go. So here it says, the lessee, so the shareholder, shall keep the interior of the apartment, including the interior walls, floors, and ceilings, but excluding, in this case, windows, window panes, window frames, sashes, sills, entrance and terrace doors, frames and saddles in good repair. And there are times where I have had to go to the proprietary lease to see if the windows are included, and there are instances, not many, but there are instances where it is the shareholder's responsibility for the complete window. So I would say, look at yours first. The lessee shall also do all of the painting and decorating required for his apartment, including the interior of window frames, sashes, and sills, and shall only be responsible by themselves for the maintenance, repair, and replacement of plumbing, gas, and heating fixtures and equipment and such refrigerators, dishwashers, air conditionings, washing machines, ranges, and other appliances as may be in the apartment. So you're responsible for all of your personal appliances plus all of the gas and electric items that only serve your unit. So in those high-end condos that we're managing now in Long Island City, let's say, the PTAC units that serve for air conditioning and heat, that's only serving your unit. So in that case, you're most likely responsible for it. Plumbing, gas, and heating fixtures as used herein shall include gas, steam, and water pipes between the branch fitting on the building riser and the fixtures, appliances, and equipment to which they are attached, then any other pipes or equipment which the lessee installed within the wall or ceiling or under the floor of the apartment, but shall not include gas, steam, water riser, or other pipes and conduits within the walls, ceilings, or floors, or heating equipment which is part of the standard building equipment. So it's saying that all of those plumbing and gas and heating that are coming out of the wall and serving your unit, just like we discussed. The lessee, so the shareholder, shall be solely responsible for the maintenance, repair, and replacement of all lighting and electrical fixtures, appliances, and equipment, and all meters, fuse boxes, or circuit breakers, and electrical wiring and conduits from the junction box at the riser into and through the lessee's apartment. So this is really important because a lot of the times that we get complaints, it's the wiring in my apartment is faulty. I'm having lights that are flickering on and off, something is wrong, and the only thing that we could say to that is you need to hire a licensed electrician, because from the junction box, from that circuit breaker going into your apartment, all the wiring and conduit throughout, that's the responsibility of the unit owner or of the shareholder, because again, just like all the other things, it's only servicing your apartment. So when it comes in, if it's faulty coming into the circuit box, that's one thing. That's the feed coming from the building into your box. But if it's the box into the apartment, that's all yours no matter what. And it is very important that you do have a licensed electrician, because anytime that you work on electric in New York City especially, by law you have to have, or by code you have to have a licensed electrician. Any ventilator or air conditioning device which shall be visible from the outside of the building shall at all times be painted by the lessee in a standard color. Okay, that really doesn't go into what we're talking about here, but that goes basically in depth of what you're responsible for. So in this case, you're responsible for all the floors, you're responsible for all the interior wall finishes, decorative items. So one thing that's going to be really important, and we talk about it a lot, is getting homeowners insurance or cooperators insurance. Just in the case of a leak or a flood, you get it from somebody else or you cause it to somebody else. Because if you do get leaked on from above, let's say, if you don't have insurance, you're gonna be out all of the things that you lost, plus the building isn't gonna be responsible for the wallpaper or the tile or something else that was actually affected that you put in yourself. So those are really important points, is no matter what, have insurance, because you never know who you're gonna affect or who's going to affect you, and you could lose everything. Obviously, a lot of memories aren't replaceable, but things are. So if you have damage or if you lose something in a fire, as long as it's not a person, hopefully, or it's the pictures we can never get back, as long as they're unless they're on the cloud, of course. But it's really super important to cover yourself and to cover everybody else, and that's a whole nother video of enacting policies in buildings to have insurance coverage so that everybody has protection. Everybody's providing notice or proof of insurance once a year so that we can maintain that everybody has an acceptable level of insurance going forward in the case of those mass catastrophes. And I've had them on December 31st at 8 p.m. I've had fires, and 7 a.m. on New Year's Day, I'm at the building and dealing with that, and then it's a whole few months long process of getting those people back into their apartments. But without insurance, it makes it a lot harder. So I know I rambled off a little bit, but okay. So for your standard repairs, what you're responsible for, what you're not responsible for. Remember, the general rule is if you could see it and touch it without breaking into a wall, it's most likely your responsibility. And if you're in a cooperative, check a proprietary lease, the repairs by the lessee. I'm sorry if I bored you reading through it, but I thought it was important. If you're in a condo, look through your bylaws to see what the responsibilities are for the board of managers versus yourself to take care of. And if you have any questions, let me know. But if you want to follow us on social media, on facebook.com/XLBradshaw. If you want to do us on Twitter and Instagram, we are at XLBradshaw. You can always email me, Mark Levine, at mblevine@ebmg.com. Always answering your emails, and it's free advice, so just ping me just like you would your own property manager, and hopefully I'll beat them to the punch, and you can say, wow, that was really quick. He does really answer his emails. We're going to have a lot more topics to cover this year. We're in 2016, so I'm feeling fresh, and it's going to be a good year ahead. Till next time.